Welcome to Selfish Confidence, a place where we can connect and be real about how hard it is to be your damn self. My name is Jess, and my goal is to help you build confidence and belief in yourself to live any life path you want, even if it's unconventional. It's time to flip off societal pressures and connect with women who've also felt on the outside by their life choices. We're here to encourage you to grab the mic and speak your truth. I know it can be scary, but we're in this together. Let's get started. Hello. Do you ever have one of those moments when you're just like, we are doing the thing? That's how I'm feeling today as I hit live, as I start to record this episode, and as I have been planning some really exciting and cool things over the last couple weeks. It's just like, okay, we're doing the thing. We are doing it. And that's pretty much what I've been telling myself every day. And so if you ever think, wow, you got to have it all figured out to do the thing, no, you don't. You just got to say, we're doing it. You just got to tell yourself you're doing it, because that's what I have been doing lately. And I wanted to share a couple things before I get into today's topic, all about like your dream day and that dream life, because I was doing some work this morning on it and it was really powerful. So I think maybe it will be for you too. But before we get into it, I wanted to remind you that this week is our Sisterhood workshop. So if you're in the Sisterhood, awesome. On Wednesday night, we will be having a workshop with Ashley O'Connor all about body, confidence, summer confidence, and feeling yourself this summer instead of hiding yourself like we tend to do. I don't know about you, but I went a really long time without putting the bathing suit on or without putting the shorts on and without feeling good in my body as it was, as beautiful as it was in all phases and stages. And I'm really excited to have Ashley come on and chat all about that in the Sisterhood this week. So that is my members only community. It's only $10 a month right now to join. And you'll be able to have access to those live Q&As and monthly workshops and first dibs on knowing about the retreat. Right after this live, I'm heading right into the Sisterhood to share all about where the international retreat is in April of 2024. And also you'll get first dibs if you're in the Sisterhood to book that. And I'm telling you, spaces are really limited, like really limited. I wanted it to be small and tight-knit for a reason. But if you're not in the Sisterhood, I will be sharing it on my email list on Wednesday with all the details of what's going on. So today, if you're in the Sisterhood, you're going to find out all about where the retreat is, what's going on, what's it going to cost, and if you're not on the email list on Wednesday. So that being said, let's talk a little bit about our dream day, about our dream life, right? Sometimes when we think of it as a life, it can be really big. It can be really daunting. And you're just like, I don't know what my dream life would be. I don't even know what my dream tomorrow would be. But what if you knew what your dream tomorrow was? What if you knew that the perfect day for you looked like sleeping in with no alarm, or it looked like, spending time with your family? What if you already knew those things? And if you did, how would you be able to implement that into your life onto a Monday, right? We always have these like Sunday scaries and that Monday feeling of just like panic and anxiety. I'm gonna brag for a second. My Monday doesn't look like that anymore. Other than the fact that I do get the little scaries when I hit that live button to hang out with you on here, other than that, I absolutely love my Mondays. It's such a beautiful time for me to really sit with myself and do this discovery work and find out what it is. What would my dream Monday look like, and bring it to life? And as I was doing this exercise this morning, so I asked myself the question, like, what would the ideal day be? What would my dream day be? And sat with that for a bit, because this is something that I work with my clients on, and something that at the retreat, I made everyone at the retreat sit down and spend some time figuring out what their dream day was. And it was interesting because as we went around the room and everyone at the retreat talked about what their dream day was, every single one was so different. I think sometimes we can think that our dream day is everybody's dream day. Everybody should want to live like this, right? But they don't. As I was in that room and listening to a group of women, some had on their dream day, they're going to wake up and they're going to spend a day doing an adventure with their kids, going to the beach, or maybe getting on a plane and traveling the world together. For some people, it might be to get in a van and travel and drive around. For others, it was to do absolutely nothing, like nothing. Don't even talk to me. Don't even look at me. I want to be alone all day long. For others, it might have been just crafting and spending some time with themselves, but also having a balance of spending time with family. Maybe they have a family dinner, right? There's no shame in what your dream day is. It's just important to know it so that you can start to implement some of these things in your life. I think that sometimes, especially even listening at the retreat, we noticed that some people did have some shame around what their dream day was. Like, oh my gosh, I have kids. Like, I couldn't want to spend the day totally alone. Like, I should want to put my kids in my dream day, right? Or for some people, they wanted to like wake up early and get out. Like 5 a.m. is like their ideal time. And I vomited in my mouth as I heard that because I don't do 5 a.m. Okay. And it's interesting because that's someone's dream day, to wake up at 5 and to do their thing and to do their workout and to have fun with themselves and to spend some quality time with their partner. And it looked so different than what my dream day was. And I also wanted to remind you, when it comes to this, our dream day changes as we change. Our ideal life can change as we change. The ideal version of me a year ago, or the ideal day a year ago, looks very different than what my ideal day would be now, and what my ideal day will be a year from now. It is ever changing. And I think sometimes as we get to know ourselves, and we can kind of equate this to our partnerships and our relationships, right? As we get to know ourselves, or we get to know our partner, we stop asking questions. We stop really diving into who we are because I did the work. I already knew it. It's okay. Like, my dream day is this. But we sometimes forget that that can change, and who we are can change, and what we want can change, and our favorite colors can change, and what we want to do for work can change. Your whole life, maybe you wanted to be a dentist, right? Your whole life, you're like, this is it. And then you do it and you're like, wait, maybe not. Maybe that isn't it, right? But we start to question it because we told ourselves our whole life we wanted it. It's okay if you change your mind. It's okay if your dream day looks different. Even if today's dream day looks different than yesterday's dream day, it's totally okay. And as I was going through this exercise and spending this time with myself, I was like, I didn't realize that I wanted this. I didn't realize that life could look like this. And so I started to put into my thought, if you had a genie come to you right now, like they were coming to your house, they were like sitting here hanging out with us, and they said, you got 3 wishes for today. You got 5 seconds to decide. Would you know what to wish on? Would you know what you want? Because most of us don't. I would panic a little bit. I'd be like, oh, even though I do this work all the time, I'd still panic. I'm like, 5 seconds, I don't make decisions that fast. But at least have some direction on where you might want those wishes to go. Maybe what you might want that life to look like. Because if you only have 5 seconds and then that opportunity is out the window, you should at least have a brief idea on the direction you'd want to take. Like, I would be like, fill my whole basement with candy, please, and that'll be great. Thank you. Right? What would that be? What would the dream be? I think it's really important to know these things about ourselves because this stuff does happen. It happens in our relationships. We're asked to compromise on things, but sometimes we don't know what our compromise is or what we wouldn't compromise on, right? And unless you know these things about yourself, unless you know what that dream is, you're not going to be able to compromise or have a solid foundation in your relationship. We do these things for so many people. The ideal thing that I do with a lot of my clients is ask them, if it was your birthday, your BFF came over and they said, girl, we are going to do whatever you want to do. This is your birthday. What do you want? Where do you want to go? What's the day that you'd want to have? And we don't know. Oftentimes we don't know. It can also be because we struggle to ask for help or to have someone give us a gift like that. But sometimes we really just don't know. So sit with yourself this week. Ask yourself, what is my ideal day? What would I want to do? Ideal work day. At the retreat, we did this. Ideal work day and also like ideal day off. You can have different kinds of ideal days, right? Because for some people, like, well, I know I have to work, but my ideal day would probably not include working. So what would it include? What would you want to do? And you can have a variety of these ideal days. And as you start to figure those out, look at the day and be like, what's holding me back from having this day? What's holding me back from living this life? There are things in our life that are going to make it really hard to make that ideal day, that dream day come to life. I understand. I really do. Because there's things on my list I'm like, oh, that could never happen, right? But take that vocabulary out of your mouth and look at your day and just say, okay, well, what can I implement now? What can I add in now? For me, one of the things on my list that I was looking at this morning is like, I want to be able to like walk out of my house and have this beautiful view and just have a moment to read outside, maybe in my hammock, and drink my coffee and have like this relaxing moment, like watching the birds, right? I'm a grandma. Like, I love watching my birds and spending that time. Like I don't want to talk to anyone. I want it to be like no neighbors, you can't see anything, and I'm just like hanging out with my birds and having a nice morning. Well, why can't I do that now? Like, why can't, even if it was to wake up a little bit earlier to have that moment, right? Why can't I hang out with my birds now? I can, right? It's those little things that you start to see in your ideal day. Maybe your ideal day includes like having lunch at your favorite restaurant. Well, maybe once a week you start implementing that. Or maybe once you see your ideal day, you're like, I could make this happen. Maybe it's even one day a year. I could do this. Well, pick the day, book it, and start planning that one ideal day, right? Once a year. I think that's why the retreats are so much fun too, because you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about, who's making your coffee. At the last retreat, I learned how to make drip coffee, okay? And I'm pretty good at it. Just saying. So learning some of those things and being able to be like, I'm going to go to the retreat and that's going to be the ideal day for me. Maybe you don't even know what's happening and somebody else is planning it for you and you're just like, I am on board with that. That sounds great to me. So finding maybe a trip or finding a space to be able to do that, or maybe you rent a hotel room and you do your ideal day once a year. That's it. Starting to live in that now is going to make a really big difference in the long run. Sometimes we think that's 10 years down the road. That's never going to be me. But what if you could start to implement even little bits of it now? Whether that's to have the whole day once a year or to have little bits of your day that you could have throughout. Like I even had like yoga or getting out on my paddleboard. Like my ideal day, for those of you who are online, it's like 4 pages long. Like I'm not even joking. It's 4 pages long. Because I wanted it to be so specific. I wanted the spaces to be really specific. And then I started to get into like what my ideal home would look like. And then I know, of course, I'm going to have to compromise on that. There's going to be things that Glenn's going to want, my husband's going to want. There's going to be things that I'm going to want. And sometimes they're not always going to look the same. So I'm going to have to compromise. But it's important for me to know what I want so that I know what I can compromise on and what I'm not willing to compromise on. So really sitting in and knowing that is so important. I even got down to like, who I wanted to work with, who's that ideal client, what did I want to be doing, what did I want to be charging them, what did I want to be working on, what are some of the things that I'd want to be selling. There's so many pieces to it. And I went deep. Now you can go really surface if you want and just try to think because you're like, I can't go there yet, Jess, that's too much. That's okay too. Do what you can, but have a good idea on what that day would look like and where you'd want it to go and what you'd want to do with it and start to make that happen. Start to make little steps towards making that dream day happen, that dream Monday happen. And it could just start with the breakfast that you're eating or the supper that you're having or any of those pieces to it, but make those steps now because you can be living your ideal life now. Even in the midst of chaos and the kids are running around and you're just like, I can't deal anymore. I know that you can find some kind of pocket for that ideal dream for you because you deserve it too. You're making everybody else's dreams happen, but you also deserve to have dreams, and your dreams come to life too. So take some time for that today. I hope you have an awesome week. And if you feel like sharing your dream day with me, send me a message. I would love to know about it. As I mentioned last week, we are having a giveaway to celebrate the 150th episode. So all through the month of June, every time you share the episode or you write a review, tag me so that I make sure that you do so I can put your name in a hat. And at the end of the month, I will be giving away a confidence session with me where we'll be able to sit down and dive into your ideal day, dive into what it is that you want and be able to work on some things together to truly transform your life in the most confident way possible. So review, share, and please tag me so that I know so I can make sure to put your name down on the list. I hope you have an awesome week and I will talk to you soon.
What's up, sis? I am so glad we could hang out today. If you love this episode, send it to a friend or share it on your social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me sprinkle some confidence in the world. And don't forget, you are magic. Let's show the world your shine.